What's going on, Internet, and welcome to another deck and deck tech. So it's actually our 10th now, so always growing. 10th deck. So this is a little special deck. This one goes out to Hakeem, of course, because he hates Traveler's Amulets. And even though I got him to use it in his artifact list, he still hates them. So this is one, I guess I called Naya Amulet, whatever. Basically, you just want to play, the biggest, the baddest creatures in Naya colors with probably one of the greediest mana bases possible. But it's actually not that greedy. Basically, you're playing cards with just greedy cost in them, and then trying to make the mana work. So you can see right there, 22 lands. But we have 4 Traveler's Amulets, so if you want to call them half a land each, sure, go ahead. And 4 Cultivate. So really, half the deck, literally half the deck, are either mana sources or cards meant to go get mana sources. But, 8 of those cards, filter your deck out of said mana sources. So anyways, real quick, we'll go through 1 Reprisal, 1 Brimaz, 1 Baneslayer, 2 Battlegrace Angels, 2 Planar Cleansing, 2 Banefire, 2 Shocks, 2 Anger of the Gods, 3 Resounding Thunder, 1 Stormbreath Dragon, 1 Inferno Titan, 4 Cultivates, 2 Arbor Colossus, 2 Terra Stomper, 2 Pelakka Wurm, 4 Traveler's Amulets, 3 Woolly Thoctar, and 3 Ground Assault. So basically, as you can see, this deck is, like I said, 30 mana sources, basically, 15 creatures, and then the other 15, or let's see, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 removal spells / burn spells. So why did I pick the creatures that I did? Well, the big reason, as you can tell by every creature, you look at the toughness. 4, 5, 4, 4, 6, 6, 8, 7, 4. So none of these creatures are going to die to a single shock. None of these creatures are going to die to Anger of the Gods on its own. None of these creatures are going to die to a single, uncycled Resounding Thunder or Bolt of Keranos or anything like that. So everything has 4 toughness or greater, aside from the Brimaz tokens. So that's the reason why I made this deck. Just, a bunch of removal into a bunch of very, very hard to deal with threats, and then tried to make the mana base work. So there really isn't too much to say about the deck. I mean, we can look at the lands. Okay, we got 5 plains, 5 mountains, 6 forests, 3 jungle shrines, and 3 savage lands. Just think of these as Gruul guild gates, red-green guild gates. But also, because we run Resounding Thunder, we pick the savage lands for the swamp. Now, I know we're playing Cultivate and Traveler's Amulets. At one point, I did have a single swamp in there to fetch it up with, Cultivate or Traveler's Amulet. But it's really not that worth it, especially with just 3 Resounding Thunders. And also, I used to have that swamp in there because I used to play Obelisk. But, since this is dedicated to Hakeem, I actually took out the both obelisks, and just put in 2 Pelakka Wurms in their place. I mean, yeah, it's a jump from 2 6-drops to 2 7-drops, but really, obelisk costs way more mana than that. You have 6 to play, and then, you got another 2 to activate, which means you're not doing anything else that turn, for the most part, unless, you go land, 7th land, activate obelisk, and play another 5-drop. So, I mean, obelisk was pretty good, but, Pelakka Wurm might be slightly better. So, I guess, since this is a very complicated deck to talk about, let's see what we left out. We'll filter by 4, 5, or 4 and above drops. So, in white, not playing Felidar Sovereign. I mean, this deck does gain a lot of life. Between Baneslayer Angel, a Battlegrace Angel. So, I mean, even Brimaz and the Battlegrace Angel, you're gaining 4. If it hits, of course. Other than that, you're always getting 5, if you just attack with a single creature. And, the Baneslayer gains life, the Wurm obviously gains life. So, we do have a lot of life gain in addition to a lot of burn. But, we're not good enough. 4/6 Vigilant Lifelink, it's great, but not that great. Captain to Watch, yeah, Captain to Watch is good. But that 3 toughness, and then the little soldiers, like I said, we wanted to not actually stay on theme, I guess. But there is a theme that, like I said, nothing dies, Anger of Gods, or Shock, or Resounding Thunder, or anything like that. A single one, mind you. Yeah, we're not playing these. We don't need to play that. We have plenty of life gain. Ogre Battle Driver, he's good, but there's that magic number 3. Don't like that number. Charmbreaker Devils was a consideration. There are a lot of, the Reprisal is okay. Getting back a Shock is pretty sweet. Getting back a Banefire is pretty good. One of the 4 sweepers, it's okay. But then, especially if you get back Planar Cleansing, if you want to pop it again, bye-bye Devils. Really, it just never really felt great when I got back to Cultivate with the Charmbreaker Devils. So, he stays. Shivan Dragon, I wouldn't play that unless I was playing Mono Red. We could have a do-nothing enchantment in Warstorm Surge, but I don't really want that in there. Solar Dragons, Siege Dragons, for 7 mana, I don't think that does enough. Sure, it's kind of cool, and you could potentially Pyroclasm your opponent every turn. Or not really Pyroclasm, since it doesn't hit flyers. But I don't really think it's that great. Same thing in Uvara Hellkite, 8 mana, no. As far as the green guys go, you could put in some pack leaders. I know Hakeem will probably just rubbing his hands to comment like, oh, where's your pack leaders? Where's your... I don't want to set up to... pack leader is a setup card. You never really want to get that thing involved in combat. You just want to play a pack leader and play a threat. I'd rather play a real threat that I am going to rumble with, rather than, just sit around and draw extra cards. So, what else? I actually used to have Nessian Aspen here. He was alright. I actually ended up swapping him out for 2 Terra Stompers. We go, from a single cost green and 4 to triple green and 3. But, I was already playing triple green for Arbor Colossus. So, bumping it up and then getting the trample and the can't countered, it was slightly better. But Nessian Asp wasn't bad when I had him in there. On Soul Zendikar, I don't really care about, infinite 3/3 green beast. It's not even infinite. That's 5 every time. And then, if he dies, more than likely he'll get exiled. But, you spend 5 mana, put another 3/3. I just feel we could be doing better than that. There's 1 Wurm on the sidelines because there isn't another creature that I would cut for it. I'm not going to cut, yeah, I'm not going to cut any of these creatures for another Wurm. This is not a Craterhoof Behemoth deck. Like I said, we only have 15 creatures. What else? This is not a Kozilek deck. There are 4 Cultivates, but, we thin our deck out of land pretty fast. So, we're not really going to get the 10. If we do get the 10, we do have mana sinks and, Resounding Thunder and Banefire to actually close out the game. Same thing with the Darksteel Colossus. This deck, does have 4 ramp cards, but it's not really a ramp deck. It's more just, fix our mana, ramp a little bit, play a shit ton of removal and sweepers, and play a lot of very resilient dudes that demand answers. And yeah, I think that's everything in the Naya colors. So yeah, we're playing both sweepers in the format. 2 anger, 2 planar cleansing. Like I said, the anger is never going to hit our own guys by themselves. Banefire, close out a game against the control decks, as well as Terra Stompers if they can't kill it since it can't be countered. And yeah, I don't really know more to be said. Like I said, we'll go over to mana base again. We have 8 white sources, plus technically the 4 amulets and the 4 cultivates. So, and then we have 11 red sources if we never draw an Amulet or a Cultivate, and we have 12 green sources if we never have draw an Amulet or Cultivate. So I think, given what we have, I think green is a little slightly more important, even though there's one more red source than green source, just because of the triple green and how important Cultivate is to the deck, even though the deck can function fine without it. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. No real trickiness to this deck. Let's see, like, when you actually play it, though, knowing what to fetch up with your Traveler's Amulets or Cultivates, what to set up for, blah, 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 blah. Not rocket science, but not necessarily, you can't autopilot this deck either. I don't really have anything else. This might be the shortest deck tech ever. Like I said, it's just big dudes and removal. So, yeah. Get some gameplay up shortly. Tune in for that. And I guess I'll see you later. I don't know what else to say. Goodbye.